Hey, hey. We are live again. Starting off another day, another night of building the RC car. Let's see. For those of you that are just joining probably for the first time, I'm Frank, Trucking McTruckface on Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Right. If I'm there, it's Trucking McTruckface. um, let's see. So yesterday we had a good time. We got up basically up until the shocks. We built the diff. This guy right here. We built a bunch of turnbuckles. These guys right here. And looks like we've got some people jumping in already. So hey, we got Bob there. What's up, dude? Thanks for jumping in. Um, we are just doing a little quick recap. So some of you may have seen kind of the teaser that I threw out on Instagram, and essentially all of this is kind of building up to something else that I have planned and that I want to do. But I decided this is probably a good time to kind of test and get a feel for how live streaming works, the things that work, the things that don't, the technology, all of the marrying of the technology, and talking about how the cameras work with the software and how the software works with you guys and interactions and comments and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, the whole point of a live stream, in my opinion, is a two-way conversation, right? So if I'm just sitting here talking and I'm not getting any comments and I'm not able to involve you guys, then it's kind of boring, I think, for both of us. So the fact that I think through trial and error, we've tried, you guys that have been with me for a while, you know that we've tried a few different platforms. We've tried Facebook, we've tried Mixer, we tried YouTube, and now we're back on YouTube. A number of reasons, right, for that. So good and bad, good experiences all the way around. I have a lot of accounts now, but yeah, I think the audio is set up pretty well now. I think we're getting good audio. I think we're getting good video. Definitely much better than what we started with. I've now got multiple cameras going and have those working together pretty well. I've got the overlays going down here. So I think overall we're definitely in a better position than we were, you know, like a few weeks ago. This is only like a couple of weeks, I think. So maybe 3 weeks. We did the 22 X4, the 4-wheel drive buggy. That was the first one, right? And so we did that one a few weeks ago. So pretty excited about that. I can't wait to get that thing off into the track. So that was my speaker that just died because I haven't been playing music. So now I'm just going to start putting this thing together. And thanks for joining. And I have... Oh, John, you kill me. John last night was watching at 75% speed. He was watching the whole live stream at 75% speed, and so I guess I sound super stony at 75%, which is hilarious. So yeah, that's what Rocklander's talking about. Shannon went even further, and she put it at 50%, which was a total trip. I mean, I don't think I could even talk fast enough to compensate for that. And no matter what I did, I sounded stony as hell. So um, play with that, have fun. Just know that you're going to be way, way behind when it comes to commenting. Like, you're going to feel stony because you're going to be that far behind what's really happening on screen. So, but Shannon thought it was a good time. She had a blast. She was like dying laughing. She was laughing so hard she was crying, I think. She couldn't even talk. Like, I was asking her questions and she couldn't even reply. So, so there's that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what John said. It's like you're on drugs, or on lewds. John's old enough to call them lewds. I don't think any. I don't even. I'm not even quite sure what that is. Just pretty funny. No, let's see. John's got a question. Am I using my phone for this? I want to text you a video, a short one. I am using my phone, so I'm not gonna get it because my phone is on like airplane mode. All of everything's turned off so that I don't get like alerts. So I'm not gonna see it. No texts, no nothing. So don't even bother because I'm just not gonna see them. I'm not gonna get emails, nothing. So I had my phone on yesterday. I'm using my phone for the desk camera, and I had it on yesterday, and some alerts came through. Most of them didn't because I had it on Do Not Disturb. little moon thing. So most of them didn't, but a few did come through. And so that's kind of annoying. And for some reason, a phone call came through, which shouldn't be possible. Like, that's the whole point of Do Not Disturb. So this time I decided to just like go nuclear and just um, go on airplane mode, turn off the Wi-Fi, turn off the Bluetooth. Basically, nothing can connect to the phone. So I'm sure it's gonna like flood with alerts when I plug it back in. But for now, that's it. So that being said, yeah, send it later for sure. Yeah, definitely send it later. That being said, this is what I'm talking about, the other camera. So now, right, we've got the desk view, and this is my little shock tray, right? This thing's coming. Seriously, I thought you had taken a. Yeah, dude, it wasn't me. It was you. I got a new light too, by the way. So this light that's hitting me right now, I think the video looks a lot better than it did yesterday. And I got a new light. So this is a scene light here, and then I have another light that I've got hit in the background. So it's getting more advanced as well. Not just a better camera, but also better lighting. And that lighting, now I have lighting on the table, so the table isn't as dark. So that that definitely helps. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now today, let's get started because we're gonna burn some time tonight. So I don't want to spend too much time chit chatting because I think some things are running on batteries, so we do kind of have a hard stop on some of these things. So um, let's see. I got to get a battery adapter for that camera right there because right now it's only running on batteries, and I know they make a power adapter, but I have to buy it. So, anyways, now what we have to do is the shock. The shock shafts have to go into the shocks, and then we have to put the little ends on the shocks. So we'll get that tool out like we did last time. Let's get some music going. Yeah, get some music going. Let's see where my pliers at. Get these bad boys out. I'm gonna put this back here because I don't need that right now. So hopefully it's not too distracting where it is on the camera. Thanks. Yeah, that's definitely coming along a lot better than it was, and as I get further away from the wall, it'll look better. Like my plan is to kind of push this desk a little bit away from the wall so that I can get more distance between what's behind me, and then I can really kind of start working some magic. So using some of those photography skills that carry over into videography, a lot of the concepts are the same. I've just never played a lot with lighting. Even in my photography, I do a lot of outdoor photography, like landscapes, and you just don't really need to mess with lighting for that kind of stuff. So the most I've done is mostly just light painting, and I did mess around with it a lot when I was in school. But man, that was years ago. That was like decades ago. So all right, so let's punch this through. Let's put the shafts through here. Can you guys hear the music? Is it loud enough? Is it too loud? Let me know. I'll make adjustments on the fly. But I'm really liking the quality of this desk camera. I'm using my iPhone for it, and man, I think it looks pretty darn good. Like my plan was to use my other Sony camera because I have a Sony 6300 that I was going to use for the desk camera, but like I kind of like this because the phone has a natural wide angle, and it really it's crisp, especially when I added this light. Like I added this light, you can see it on my hand now, and man, it is actually pretty crisp. So let's see here. Just throw out a few chroma key screens. I should have given you one. You could have. Oh yeah, yeah. I was actually thinking about later if this generates any kind of money that I don't want to put a bunch of money into this. Almost everything I'm using I've already had. All I bought was this light. Um, so everything else I pretty much already had. Tripod stands, all that kind of stuff. So the microphone came from our podcast gear. So yeah, I mean, if I was thinking about throwing like a green screen up, but I just don't want to spend money on a green screen. Um, let's see. Yeah, it's not Pantera. YouTube won't let that fly, man. They just they're just not cool like that. They get all weird, you know. They're all like, oh, you don't have rights to that music, and they're right. I don't. I get it. Musicians got to get paid. All right. So these are gonna go on these, and I don't think there's different sizes here. According to this, there is. Oh, it's a tuning option. The kit setup is 0, but there's a tuning option for +2. So we're gonna keep it at 0. And then there is a measurement, so I'm gonna have to go to my bag and um, get my calipers again because there is a measurement for these. So we'll take a little break when I'm done with this, and we can do that. So let's start the threading here. This is going to be tough because this whole body is moving while I'm doing this. So I like doing this way because it's just a lot easier. So I'm going to leave a few threads like that. There's one. Nice. Yeah, this setup is getting dialed, guys. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. I really like the picture-in-picture too. I'm down with the little circle for the picture-in-picture. That little custom option was rad. I'm really digging that. Yeah, exactly. They won't ding me. Totally right. Oh, and the FJ. Good call. Let's talk about the FJ. Yeah. I actually got the phone yesterday with Jason DeMello, and my bumper has arrived. So the next thing going on the FJ is a bumper. So that's pretty solid. Really looking forward to that. That's like probably one of the key things that I've been missing, and it's just been on order for a while. And with everything that's been going on, it's been really tough for them to get labor done, especially with the laser cutter to cut the plates for the bumper. So now that they've kind of got that done, they've got bumpers kind of moving along now, and mine is done. Went to powder coat. That took a little bit longer than usual for the same reasons because of everything that's going on. So I went to powder coat. And now all I need is because where Toyota put the washer fluid, I need the washer fluid bottle, the reservoir relocation kit. And so we're just checking to see if they can ship out one, if they have any already made, and if they don't, if they can ship one out and what the ETA is on that. So as soon as that gets here, bumper's going on. Like it's go time. So yeah, pretty stoked on that. Okay, let me go. I'll be right back. Let me get my. I need my measurement. I need to get my calipers to measure right quick. All right. See, right quick. Need to tile the camera facing the table up about 15 degrees. Need to tilt the camera. I'm assuming you mean tilt. Tilt it up, like towards me, or like I should be like, you want it like back here, right? You want this to be like the center of the camera, is what you're saying? Yeah. Shannon likes my shirt. That's Shannon. Say hi, Shannon. Hi. Shannon likes my shirt because she bought it. Yeah, I'm telling you, Bob, it's gonna be sick when I get that bumper. I went with an aluminum bumper. Um, I know I've been wanting aluminum for a while. I mean, obviously I placed this order a long time ago, so I went with an aluminum bumper. Um, 21 millimeters for the front. And I made that choice a while ago. And the biggest reason is weight. I mean, it's just, they're so heavy. And um, there's really not a lot of reason for me to. That's weird. There's really not a lot of reason for me to like have much more than that. It's a ton of weight, and I'm not doing any kind of crazy rock crawling, so there's just not much reason for me to kind of go beyond that, right? So the aluminum is a really good option for me. Ooh, man, that can't be right. Interesting. Well, that's definitely not going to be. That's definitely not going to be 21 millimeters. No way in hell is that going to be 21 millimeters. That's a lot of threading, but I'm not sure I can even thread it in that far because I only have a couple of threads exposed. Let's try. We'll try. It's pretty close. All right. Stand corrected. So, John, let me know, because I can move that camera. Tilt it, yes, up closer to you so we can see more of the side. Oh, okay. Got it. Yep, I'll do that right now. Let me finish tightening this down a little bit. And I'll do that right now. I went too far. Perfect. All right, so that one's done. Let me adjust this camera real quick, guys. Oh, I tightened it too much. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Kyle's here. Hey, Kyle. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys have met. That's right. That's right. You guys have met. Building shocks. Building shocks. I think these shock shafts got mixed up. This doesn't seem right. I think I was not paying attention and I mixed up the shock shafts because these lengths don't seem right. So I'm going to try this again. Because this seems to be a long one. This one looks right, but this one looks wrong. Yep. That's what happened. I was not paying attention, guys. Yep, that's definitely wrong because it's too short to even come out. So this one should have gone in here. And this one should have gone in here. Like that. There we go. Luckily, it was just one set that was back. These two sets that were backwards, so I don't have to redo them all. Because that would have not been fun. Now it's threaded, it's super easy. I don't have to rethread it. All right. Let's reset this one. 21. That's the only thing that I found with like doing a live stream and building a car is I definitely make a few more mistakes. Trying to split my attention between the two. That's the only thing. But you know what? I got no regrets. I got no regrets. No regrets. Not even one little letter. Okay, that's good. You're not wrong, Rocklander. You are not wrong. I think your shirt's in the laundry right now, so I'll wear it though. I'll wear it one of these next live sessions. Got to represent for the Rocklander project, hooking up the t-shirts to Shannon's chagrin. Let's see, the rears are 28. Let's ramp this bad boy up to 28. Shannon's talking smack off camera. She says, I don't even miss the camera. You didn't even miss the t-shirts that I got rid of. Wow, that one's perfect. Damn. That's pretty smooth. Made up a little time right there. There we go. This one could use a little nudge of a turn. Boom. All right. Done. That's it for the calipers. Turn those off and put those away. Let's put those out here for now. All right. So I think next is the oil. So we'll put our shocks. The fronts are going to get the lighter oil, 27.5. So these are rears, and these are fronts. So I'm not filling them up right now. I'm just getting them close because I need to. I have to cycle them, and I don't. And if you fill them up, then you've got to be really careful when you're cycling them because there's going to be a lot of air underneath the piston. But if you don't fill them up, then you can. Oops, I gotta pull this thing out. You can cycle them a little faster. I have to worry about making a mess. Let's see. Let's catch up on some comments while we wait for this, because we have to wait for this to cycle. So I'm gonna push this through, and then I'm gonna catch up on some of those comments. There we go. Some of that air out. So all these bubbles we got to get out from the bottom. A lot of bubbles in that one. Let those sit for a while. Those bubbles can rise. Let's get to some comments. Let's see. What do we have here? The mini pipe organ is back. Don't want to ask what that is. Drink some of the oil. Yeah, exactly. I don't think this is what they were talking about, but this is performance oil, guys. This will make you faster. It'll definitely eject whatever's in you a lot faster. It's definitely warmer under all these lights, tell you that. Yeah, buddy. As long as we can keep that playback speed at normal, we're doing all right. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, it's a good night. It's a good night. All right. I think most of these bubbles have kind of pushed through already, so let's top it off. Not gonna cap the oil just yet. Gonna wait. I gotta build these guys now. I'm a little surprised and a little scared, freaked out by how quickly YouTube identifies like music. Because I remember we were doing the live stream on the first time, and it took all of like 15 seconds for YouTube to be like, nope. So I mean, I don't know, that technology has gone far. Like I'm kind of like, I'm both impressed and scared by how quickly like that stuff just picked up. It was kind of nuts. Back then, that was crazy. That was a while ago. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Shannon was saying that when we did, it happened to us when we did a live stream. That was the last time I think I've done any kind of live streaming. We did it for our wedding, for a family that couldn't fly out. Back when Google Hangouts was a thing, we did it back then, and it was. I mean, it took like probably 20 minutes for Google to shut it down. Same thing because the DJ was always obviously playing music, and so we had to mute the live stream to keep it going. We had to come back and mute it, which is kind of lame. Nobody wants to see a quiet party, but I mean they were there for us, so we were on there jumping on, saying hi to everybody. But it was all expressions and waves and gestures because they couldn't hear us. So it worked out. I mean, I think it served its purpose, but it would have been cooler if we could have just had the volume on. But it's all right. It's not the worst thing. All right, caps. These are the bottoms. These are the shock. It looks like on this one there are two different kinds. There's these tall ones and these little short ones. So same thing, fronts and rears. The deep ones are usually the rears, I think. So yeah. Oh no, it's saying the standard, no, the deep ones are the front. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these little bad boys in. And these guys go right here. So I'm just gonna thread them first because this is so fine that I don't want to mess with this later. So I'm just gonna thread it now, and then I can back it off. I also don't want to strip it. That happened on the other kit. One of these, I'm pretty sure one of these little guys stripped. So I just don't want to. I don't want that to happen this time. And then we get to bleed shocks. Exciting. Doing good. Everyone's doing good. Kyle, what do you mean still driving? Like, are you not home? Are you watching this? Is that what that means? I hope I wasn't supposed to do something with these longer screws because I feel like these washers were supposed to go somewhere. I hope I didn't miss those either. There's nothing on here about those washers though. Maybe it's the other previous page. I'm gonna check that real quick because I should definitely, as far as I know, I should not have 4 washers left over. Nope. That's all good. And those were in the bag. Those were already out, so. So there is a washer here in these instructions, but there's no mention of where it goes. It's these guys right here. Yep, on this instruction book. But nowhere on the page is it laid out where they go because we have bolt, piston, the small washer, which is this top one that we already used. Piston, oh. I did forget to use those. Derp. Shit. That's a problem. That is a problem. See, guys? See? The heavier oil goes in the front. All right. Fuck it. I need this done right, so. I'm just gonna do this over again. Because this is actually one of those things where if you don't do it right, you're gonna blow a shock later. And it's a quick fix. I could do this in like 2 minutes, so I'm just gonna do it right now. But apparently, those little guys were supposed to go on the front shocks. Right here. Like that. And these are basically, they're like, I guess you could say like a bump stop. Like an internal bump stop. And actually, while I'm doing this, I'm gonna speed this process up a little bit. Maybe. I'm gonna empty this one out. I'm gonna pour some of it in here. And what that's gonna do is that's actually gonna prevent the oil from accumulating in the bottom. Boom. Like that. Oh. Okay, let's do this again. Last time. means I have to remeasure as well. Man, I'm glad I double checked that, because that actually would have been a nightmare had I gotten any further. I would have had to like undo the entire system. Like put air springs on, mount it on the car, all that kind of fun stuff. That would have not been fun. Getting better. That was a lot quicker. That was a one and done on that one. All right. Let's try this again. At least I didn't waste the oil. That's the real pain in the butt. When you waste the oil. Okay, so we'll let that sit for a little bit and I'll finish off. Finish off this last one. While we wait for that, let's see what we got here. Oh, dude, that's a story. Oh my gosh. Making some quick dinner. Kitchen is gone. Middle of remodel. Oh man. You're telling me you don't have a scuttle? Yeah, exactly. I totally would have. I mean, that would have been, that's one of those moments when your shocks explode. Like you blow the caps off the shocks and you have no idea why. You're destroying your shocks so much. And it's because you forgot to put the limiters, the bump stops in there. So you don't figure that out until like you've blown 2 or 3 sets and you're like, oh, that's why. Derp. So, yeah. Let's not do that. All right, so we'll leave these for last because there's still quite a bit of air rising. It's almost to the top, but there's still quite a bit. Quite a bunch of little bubbles in there. So let's do the rear. Put a little dab in here. So TLR gives you these cool little tools so that you can actually torque on these things because they're so small that it's hard to get a good handle, and you don't want to use wrenches on those things. That just damage them. So we're gonna bleed them here in a second. I'm just gonna put actually a little more in there. These are plastic, so you don't want to over torque it. All right, looks pretty good. Yeah, I hear you, man. I know what you meant. So I'm gonna tell you guys because I don't think I'm gonna blow any kind of big news here. So I'll tell you guys my plan with this is to I want to do like something kind of community driven, um, but not but basically like the podcast that we do is the podcast, right? That's going to stay what it is, and we enjoy it because you don't need all of this kind of production stuff to do it, right? I mean, you need some of it, but we've gotten really good at taking that kind of. Here, I'm going to switch cameras real quick here. We've gotten really good at kind of taking that show on the road and being able to record the podcast kind of as it happens, um, as we say on the podcast. And so, but there's something to be said about kind of like bringing some production value and slowing it down a little bit and telling a different story altogether, right? So not just something um, where it's about the adventure or it's about like actually going out there and doing it, but there's a lot of more kind of discussion, right? And what I like about this medium, aside from like just making videos, because videos are definitely a one-way conversation, right? I can make a video, I can edit it and have it up, and it's a 15-20 minute video, and you guys can watch it and say, oh yeah, Frank talked about doing this or doing that. It's great. And there's a lot of people on YouTube that do that. Great. I don't want to edit videos. I don't want to like. That's just not my thing. I don't want to do it. I don't enjoy it. It's really tedious. There's a lot of people out there that are really good at it already, and they love it. So if you don't enjoy it and you don't love it, there's no way you're going to be better than someone that does, unless you put in a ridiculous amount of effort. And if I'm going to put in that kind of effort, I may as well put it into something that I really enjoy. So, you know, that being said, hey, you didn't miss a whole lot. I had to redo the shock limiter. Done. So you didn't miss a whole lot, John. And then oh yeah, and Kyle's home. So everybody, Kyle's home. So I'm just talking about like kind of like version 2.0 of this, or 1. Or kind of not even version 2.0, like getting out of. I consider this like beta, right? This is me like kind of testing it and seeing like what's what, right? Getting the cameras dialed, the lighting, the audio, getting all of that situated. Um, yeah, yeah. Shannon says you guys are the mice in the lab. You guys are my guinea pigs. The goal is to like do interviews and being able to do them, like I can have people Skype in or I can have people call in and you can see them on the camera and we can have a conversation. Industry people, regular people, like I want to tell other people's stories, right? And the cool shit people are doing, the cool stuff they're building in their communities, the relationships they're building, the fun stuff they're having, and the vehicles they're building. There's a lot of really cool stories about trucks that are being built, rigs that are being built for fun, for causes, for all kinds of stuff, right? Family, bonding, community, you name it. And so I think um, that's like, I think where I want to take this. And so I'm going to reach out to some of the industry folks that I know to kind of kick it off and start it. And I think that's going to be the YouTube channel. Like the YouTube channel that I'm going to put forth is just going to be that. And I'll probably go live. Sorry, I can see the comments before they pop up on screen. Yeah, I think you're right, Kyle. I think you might be the first one that went live while driving home. That I was watching while driving home. Oh, that's pretty funny. But that's my plan. So let me know what you guys think. I'm definitely curious to see, if you guys think it's a viable idea. I think it is. I think there's room for that, and kind of take interviews too. And the other part is, if we do interviews, they're live, so you guys can ask questions to the people that I'm talking to, things that are relevant, things that you're curious about. You don't have to wait like the day after or the week after it's been released and have that conversation in the comments section. You can have it right now as we're talking to that person, and you can ask them questions and they can answer them in real time. Like that two-way access is what's freaking cool. So Kyle, I'm sorry you missed that, buddy. You're gonna have to rewatch it. You're gonna have to back up and rewatch it. But essentially the plan is like interviews, right? But not just interviews with like industry people or like even social media influencers, right? Or like our industry influencers. Like, look, man, you see a shit ton of those people. They're everywhere. You see them on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. They don't need like more FaceTime, right? But I think the people that build their own rigs, or the people that have really cool stories that are kind of the backbone of like this like hobby sport industry, like I think those people have a story to tell, and I think that could be a lot of fun, and I think you guys would want to hear those stories too. So that's kind of where I want to take this. So let's get back to the table. Time to bleed some shocks. So I'm gonna grab this towel here. This is gonna be my shock bleed towel. Yeah, right. Like I think there's room for that, and like I think there's so many cool. I've talked. What the inspiration for this is? A lot of people don't know this. I don't think anybody in this genre or this world knows this. Shannon and I, we used to do a podcast together, way back. What was that, like 6 years ago or longer? Actually, we lived here, so it was like right after we moved here. Yeah, so it was like 6-7 years ago. Shannon and I used to do a podcast, and it revolved around a game, a phone game, and we would interview people around the world, because you had to do these crazy complicated missions and stuff, and so we would interview people around the world that did these things and that did like fan art and stuff like that, and it was super cool. Like we had a ton of fun doing that. And like that's basically kind of how we got started on that, and that's how I got started doing podcasts, is learning it that way. Ooh, that's a good one right there. Dang, that one might not have had enough oil in it. I'm a little concerned, but that's all right. It's all right for now. I'm gonna have to re-bleed these anyway. By the time I go to the track, which will probably be a month from now, these things are gonna need to be bled again anyway. So I'm not super concerned with them being perfect right now, because they're probably gonna have to get redone no matter what. So yeah, I mean, tell me what you guys think. If you guys think I'm off base, let me know, because like I've said numerous times, um, there's no point in doing any of this if no one's watching and no one wants to see it, right? So I'm not saying it's a reason to do everything. It's definitely not. But um, it's kind of why I want to do it, right? My whole goal is to kind of has always been to like bring the community together and tell those stories and give people kind of a way to do that, right? And like I see all these other things like people do like rig walkarounds videos, and I see Brad does them, and um, Overland Bound does them, and a bunch of people, right? Like they go out and they kind of do these rig walkarounds. That's really cool. That's, don't get me wrong, that's awesome, super cool. Um, but I don't know. I feel like yes, that's cool, but there's definitely more story to tell that those things aren't quite the medium for, right? Like they don't really lend themselves to telling a story. They're more like technical. It's quick. It's like walk around and tell me about your bumper. Tell me about this. And there's only so many bumpers out there and so many shocks out there. Like how often can you talk about your king shocks or your icon shocks? Like you know, most people. I mean, most of us are running very similar setups as far as that's concerned. I mean, you're running one of the 4 or 5 brands that are out there, right? So that are worth talking about anyway. There's a lot of other smaller brands, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, you're running, one of X brand, So unless there's something groundbreaking, new about that, then there's very few people that are actually doing something different, you know, with a set of kings or a set of icons, right? So, or a set of, um, toy techs or, Terraflex or whatever, right? So, you know, anyways, that's where I'm coming from. I'll put some comments up here in a second once I get my hands free. But this commenting tool on this app is, I freaking love it, man. Like I think it's badass. Like I think being able to like oh, it's got some air in there still. I can hear it gurgling. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. All right. Those are good. Good and bled. Now we got to put the shock collars on, and the deep ones, I do remember the deep ones are for the front. So to do that, put the spring on, and put the shock collar on. Let's see here. You like it better than what we're doing right now? Thought you liked this, man. What's going on here? Telling me to say this. You're telling me you're not having a good time, Kyle? Is that what's happening? Yeah, I think you're right. I think that definitely might be a challenge to transition people. Um, to that definitely might be a challenge to transition people from Instagram to YouTube. But I think, like I said, look, man, we all watch YouTube and we all are on Instagram, right? Like, there's no, I don't think there's like a lock on that people don't go back and forth. And I think for the sake of interviews, I think it's pretty safe bet. Um, that we can do that on interviews. It's weird that they have the same part number, but one's shallow and one's deep, which is kind of funny. But um, I think we can definitely do that. So you think, Kyle? You think that people won't go to YouTube to watch like a live interview? You think they'll stay on? You think they want to be on Instagram? That's a real question. Like, I'm curious because I don't know. Instagram has a weird format for doing live, and the interview stuff is it's okay, but you have to use headphones. The audio's not great. You can't do the stuff that we're doing right here, right? So. Don't tell me that, dude. I'm gonna have to have some disclaimer at the beginning of the podcast of this and say I am not responsible for whatever might happen to you on the 605 driving home because live stream actions or whatnot. Kyle, you crazy, man. You're a crazy dude. It's a time check here. It's almost 8 o'clock. Let's see. Yeah, it is going to be, I think, tough. But I think people, I think the benefit there is that people are on, I think, both platforms anyway. Like, I really do. I think people are kind of, I do agree that if you have a strong following on Instagram, that particular following may not migrate over, right? You may have a strong following on Instagram, and it's a completely different crowd potentially on YouTube that may not follow you over. But I think with what's going on right now, I think a lot of people are streaming a lot of content. So I don't think they're just on Instagram anymore. I think I know people that are pretty heavy into YouTube now because, that's just been the way it is. So I think there's opportunity, I guess, is my point. And even if it's a different audience, then so be it, right? Like, if they're on Insta, and I think I can still do live stories, I can still do live interviews on Instagram. They'll just be a different format, a different reason with different people, right? I think this will be more of a long form version of that, right? And Instagram with kind of more of a short form kind of version, so less production value, kind of more nitty gritty. Maybe the Instagram version is a real quick introduction for people, like meet this guy that's going to be super cool, and he'll be on YouTube later on for a longer interview, that kind of thing, right? So I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. There is definitely a convenience factor to Instagram, and Instagram does a really good job of like alerting you and telling you that like, so and so is going live right now. You should tune in. Blah blah blah. Right? Instagram does a really good job of doing that, for sure. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think I might have to do. I might have to do it on both, right? But like I was saying, it might be a different format for Instagram, like as a short form kind of version, right? Like kind of like what Casey's been doing. But I don't know. Part of me also doesn't want to do what Casey's been doing because Casey's doing what Casey's doing, right? So, um, you know, but no one I don't think is doing kind of the average man, right? So, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. There's a lot of really cool people out there, man. That aren't Insta famous. I think they need to be. I think they don't need to be famous. I don't think they want to be, but I think people are interested. They want to see what they're doing and the cool shit that guy is doing in his garage. Like, did you guys see that car, that commando that I posted on Instagram? Like, guys like that, like that's a badass build. That is a badass build, and he did it all himself in his garage with maybe a friend helping him every now and then. Like, that's freaking cool. So. Let's see here. Freaking Kyle, dude. He wants to be all Brad. I don't want to be all Brad. Like, no, Brad is Brad, man. I don't want to be Brad. Not nothing against Brad. Brad is Brad, and he does Brad very well. And I don't think anyone should try and do that. I don't think anyone. I mean, I think everyone should do their own thing personally. I mean, it's okay. I mean, there's tons of guys doing what similar stuff to him, but everyone has their own flavor, and I think that's a good thing. You know, you should keep your flavor and your style. You know, but like I said, I don't want to shoot videos and um, you know, do that kind of stuff and sit at home, you know, in front of a computer editing video for hours. You know, I already do that with podcasts, and that's enough. I don't want to do more. So, um, let's see. Yeah, I hear you. Now you do makeup and makeovers. It's logical flow. Civil War was tough because the food sucked. Yeah, yeah. I'm guessing there wasn't a lot of Canes and Chick-fil-A back then. All right, shocks are done, guys. Finish. We now have 4 shocks. Pretty cool. So now we get started on the chassis. This is what's next. D1. Right there. So same as last time, pull the chassis out, put the rails on. So we're gonna start getting into actually turning this thing into a car. So let's find the chassis. Cut this bag open. Also, I'm gonna put this away so I can have my table space back. Put these away because we're not building shocks anymore. All right, we're gonna look for the bag for bag D. Bag G. Bag D. Let's see. Uh-oh. I think John, I think you're getting recruited here, man. There's getting yeah, you might be you're a natural, John. You might have a pretty straight up following like right now with your makeovers. I know what a tease. Oh, you guys are funny. You guys are funny. All right. Ah, this is the bag with the arms, or no, yeah, arms. Front bulkhead, arms, bearings. Looks like we've got our steering rack is in here too. So I'll try and get through these. I think we can. We got an hour. We should be able to get through this bag. That's a lot of sandwiches. Yep. Sure is. A lot of bearing sandwiches in that one. It's a lot of bags is what it is. A lot of bags in this one. Little bags, big bags. Long bags, short bags. Yeah. All right. Let's try to pay extra attention to this one now. because there is something tricky here. There's this piece right here. I don't know what that is. Looks like it might be the end of the antenna. No, it's something. It's probably for the motor. So one of the pieces later that we're going to need to thread into. So looks like the tall end goes to the front. So we're going to use the second hole back. Like so. And then we have all these different screws. We've got these guys right here. And then we have, move this over a little bit so I can make some room. I gotta organize my screws again so they don't get lost. So let's see, the bulkhead, some spacers, some shims, put those there, long screws. Let's see if there's any good comments here that need to go up on the screen. Oh man, I just can't put all that. You guys are going through the comments and I'm trying to put as many as I can up on the screen. There's a lot. I can see them. I think you guys can see your own comments. I hope you can. So there's actually 3 different sizes here. There's these medium ones, and then there's these tiny ones. So the tiny ones. So what we need is the 8mm and the 10mm. So this is the 8mm, and this is the 10. Yep. So we don't need these right now. Put those up here. And this guy sits in like this. Like so. And so the TL 5961 goes right there. And then we'll take one of the long ones, and these go up front. Time to bust out the drill. I have to almost go back and find out how you guys started talking about Kyle being a Valley Girl. Oh man. That's exactly what I'm doing right there. Looking at the comments and going, what the shit? What just happened? I'm sponsored by ShamWow. I don't even know. I don't even know where that's coming from. I don't know. I don't know, Kyle. I don't know what you guys are talking about anymore. You guys lost me. Are you talking about this? This towel, the yellow towel? Oh shit! Now Rocklander's getting in on it. Oh man! But wait, there's more. Fuck. Oh, that's funny as hell. Hilarious. Is that right? Oh my gosh. You guys are killing me. Yeah, I guess I could be. I guess I could be Marco Maze. I don't know. I'm kind of just trying to build my own thing, guys. I'm not trying to be Billy or Marco or anybody else for that matter. Jeez, man. Can't a guy just have his own identity? All right. Easy peasy. That part's done. Now let's find out what's up with these shims. So the kit calls for using both, so you can change the kick shim in the front. So the kit calls for both shims, and then you can adjust those based on how the car performs. So, all right then. We're gonna go ahead and do the kit. We're gonna use the kit setup because usually the kit is designed for for Orange County for OCRC. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. RC cars and shishito peppers. I don't even know what that means, dude. I'm just gonna nod. I'm gonna nod and just go with it. Kyle, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. Oh shit! Look at this guy. Yes, Costa Rica. What's up? How's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in. We're just sitting here building RC cars, talking about off-roading. Don't mind these other guys; they're crazy. Yeah, see, that guy's got a YouTube channel. He does all kinds of crazy stuff. You should follow. You should follow him. What part of Costa Rica? Let me know. Coffee. Yeah, yeah. Got a coffee contact. There you go. We totally were. Well, I was. I was talking about it. I don't know what you guys have been talking about between like Kyle's cars and his commute home and being dangerous and being from the valley. Oh, dude, Kiss Vinyl, you don't know what you've stumbled upon, man. This is just straight shenanigans. We're just sitting here being ridiculous. So, I hope you can hang. And Kyle's crazy. Oh, nice. Nosada. West Coast town. All right. Left coast, best coast. That's what I always say. So now I'm going in the D2. So we're going to start doing the steering. Putting the steering rack together. So I am building, let's see. Oh, Kyle's triggered. Careful. Careful. I didn't know you had a problem with that word, Kyle. I don't wanna ruin your evening, man. I don't want to harsh your buzz. Yeah, it's fun. It's our little shit show, right? That's what we do when we're on lockdown. Hey, what's his name? Kiss Vinyl TV. Are you guys on lockdown? You guys staying home over there? Like us? We can't go anywhere. We're not allowed to leave our house. We're we're all kind of locked in here. Trying to be good little boys and girls staying home. Alright, this is getting complicated. There's a lot going on here on this steering rack, so. Who's Farva? There you go. There you go. That's a good way to put it. What's the name of the restaurant with all the goofy shit on the walls? I don't know. Yes. That one. That one? That one? Wait. That one? God, I hate going backwards on the camera. It's so stupid. Yeah, that one is annoying. Yeah, I don't like Whole Nother either. That one bugs me. Yeah, first and oh fuck. Hold on a second. Let me read his comment. I don't know if you like classic cars, but I'm only 14 starting at 7 old VW. Hell yeah, who doesn't like classic cars, man? We love classic cars. Southern California, dude. That's where we're at. Classic car epicenter right here. Oh, you guys are on lockdown too, huh? Living that lockdown life. I hear you. Yeah, we're kind of in the same boat. So I have two of these guys. Goes like this. Yep, we are in the same boat, my friend. living that lockdown life. So I'm trying to separate these out so I know exactly what I'm working with here. That's cool though, man, that you're into classic cars. I like that. It's good for the kids to appreciate the classics. There's a bunch of classics in the chat section of this feed. I do know Super Troopers, yes. I mean, that's kind of... Oh, no. What? I've seen it, dude. I've seen it. I haven't seen it in probably 15 years, but I've seen it. I will say that while I enjoyed it, I did not have the love for it that many of my other friends did. I have some friends that can quote that fucking thing word for word, and that's just not me. I enjoyed it, but I haven't watched it more than twice. I'll tell you that. Put it that way. I don't know, dude. It's been like 20 years since I've seen that movie. Oh, man. Okay, so this guy got a... Which bearing is this? The 2.5 mil. It's the smaller bearing. So we do a small bearing, and then we do a spacer. And the spacer is... There's two spacers. There's two spacers of two sizes, and they're not telling me which one. So that's not fun. It looks like a larger spacer goes over here. Oh, here we go. It's on this page. Yep, goes over here. Okay, so it goes little one. Little spacer. Let's see. Yeah, Kyle, I have no sense of humor. You got me. You totally got me, dude. None whatsoever. Such a tragedy. I think you're talking to me. I don't know who you're talking to. I'm assuming it's me. I'm just over here building little bearing sandwiches, dude. Trying to get this done in one night. All right. Now I need this piece. And this piece goes like so. And then we get these guys. TLR 6025 is this guy, I think. So this one goes in like this. The comments are getting away from me now. I'm trying to keep up. Oh yeah, it is. That's exactly where I got it from. Inspired by the classic and famous Bodie McBoatface. I don't know. Did that boat ever get that name? I feel like it was overridden. It was overruled, and the boat never actually got that name. Yeah. It was supposed to have that super cool name, and someone ruined it. Some stick in the mud killed that. That's true. That's okay. That's fair. I take that back. You're right. You guys are my friends, and you guys are quoting it. That is accurate. Wow, that actually got really hot. that is accurate. I take that back. What if I watch it again? Can I watch it again? And then can I be in if I watch it again? Oh man. I think I really offended Kyle. Like I think Kyle's Oh yeah, I guess you kind of do have to be of a certain age to do Pulp Fiction, huh? See, I enjoyed Pulp Fiction, but I also like Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson's kind of the clutch, angry black guy. Like he's just got that down to a fucking science. Pulp Fiction. That is a good one. I know some people that don't like Pulp Fiction. That was kind of one of those polarizing films that some people either loved it or hated it. Are you guys watching it in slow and like behind again? Are you guys like down at 50% or 75% again? There really shouldn't be a ton of lag. It's because I'm not up on the comments, huh? It isn't universally adored like Super Troopers. I suppose. I suppose. I'd say that's probably accurate. Oh, really? A minute? Damn. That's weird. I wonder if I forgot to set it to ultra low latency. Maybe I did. Suppose. I suppose. Oh, shit. These guys. So I'm just checking now to make sure this thing has good motion, because this is the steering rack. So it's got to be just tight enough, but it's got to maintain its... You don't want it to be too loose because you'll wreck the bearings, but can't be too tight, or else you'll overwork the servo. There we go. All right, so that is set like so. Now we got to grab this piece and we have to install this guy. This guy goes right here on top. Oh, this is one of those pieces that I'm going to have to take back out again, because my OCD is going to get the better of me. There's so much plastic. I don't know if you guys can see the plastic that's like little, that's kind of unfurling in there, right in here. So I'm going to have to like go back. Patience, Kyle, patience. Some might say it's saintly. Look at this. All these shavings came out of there. That stuff drives me nuts. Mostly because what it does is it sits underneath the ball stud, and it doesn't allow the ball stud to sit flat against plastic because it creates all this like space. So it's almost like you have a spacer under the ball stud, which you don't want. There. Okay, so now we want this guy. Just sit right there. There you go, like so. All right, so that's done. This is going to go to the servo, I presume. And then all of that, let's bring the chassis back. Let's see. Yes, it is. That's the one. The fuck? Oh man, you guys are on fire tonight. How much have you guys been drinking already? Like, do I even want an answer to that question? I feel like it's potentially a significant amount already. So I'm putting the bearings in, and then this piece is gonna sit right here on the end, like so. Like that. Steering. All right. Let's see. Now we take this guy. So we'll put this aside again. We'll take this guy. And we're going to put these little pucks in there. It looks like they're the same on both sides. So those will go in. And there's a chamfered edge, so the chamfered edges always go up. So you just got to find that little chamfered edge and put that up. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny that you say that, Rocklander, because my buddy that runs Overland Swag, the website Overland Swag, he puts out patches that say this is some like real gourmet shit, or this is some gourmet shit, and it's both of them, right? John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, and he's got different versions of it. So I think he's like on version 3 right now, and it's they're holding like different kinds of coffee, and they're doing different things in the patch. It's pretty cool. He does a series of those. It's pretty funny. I believe it. I wholeheartedly believe that you could do this all night. 100%. I believe that. I believe that to be true. This music is it's tripping me out. It's like got some kind of Japanese vibe going. So now I'm just putting these ball studs on here. And these guys go on this outer edge. And these guys go on the inside here. I gotta be honest with you, I never thought anybody would actually watch this stuff, so props to you guys for sticking around and doing this. Whose page did you look at, Rocklander? Did you look at, is that Kiss? Kiss Dude? I'll definitely check it out once I'm done with this. Just putting these last little bits in there. Alright, there we go. That part's done. Moving on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this bag, D3. Oh, Overland swag, yep. Yeah, he's really, right now, like in the last like year, maybe two, he's really into the Star Wars stuff. Like he's making all kinds of like Mandalorian patches and, you know, Mythosaur and Star Wars stuff. Like he's really into the Star Wars stuff. So he's been making some really cool shit. If you're into that, I'm not so much. I enjoy the movies and you know, the Mandalorian and all that, but I'm not that into it where I want a bunch of patches. But if you are, that's your jam. That dude, he makes some really cool shit. He also does. I'm not sure if anybody else is doing it, but he also does a thing called Patch of the Month, and you get, if you're into that like Star Wars stuff, man, super limited runs of those patches. Like, you know, yeah, he does really good work. Really good work. I've known him for a long time. He used to be the president of Skoda 4x4, the off-road club that I'm a member of up in Santa Clara. Yeah, they're up north just by north of LA. He was president of that club for a long time. I think it goes back and forth. I think he's one of the founders, so it kind of goes back and forth. Like somebody else is president, and he's president again, that kind of stuff. So let's see. Okay, so this is where I need to choose. I'm not going to use this little nub because I'm going to use Velcro to put the body on. So that is what is going to go. Looks like that is what's going to go in here. Into this section, and then there's a tiny little screw that holds that in, which is this little guy. Which almost seems pointless. I don't even think it's long enough to catch that piece, but whatever. It almost seems pointless to have to do that. Like you just put the plug in and just call it done. Like the fact that you put a screw in the back right here almost doesn't even seem pointless to hold that little cap right there on. You guys probably can't even see the cap, little right there. There it is. So all right. So now we take the piece that we just built, this one here, and we have this screw, this one. We have these 2 button heads, 3 button head screws that are all kind of the same length. Yeah. And then we have our pins for the arms. So we take the bulkhead and this piece, and this usually sits in just like that. it goes, yeah, like that. So this sits in here like so. And then we take this piece that fits in here like that. And then we take one of these button head screws. Just going to start it off because if not, everything falls apart. So if we start it off here, then all these pieces fit together nicely. Let's see. All right, there we go. So the bulkhead's coming together. Now, the bulkhead will go. We'll take the bulkhead piece and we're going to mount that to the frame, to the body. So that's going to go like so. So that sits just like that, right there. And so we're going to take probably the two flat screws, yep, and those are going to come up to the bottom, like so. Then we have the two screws, or two remaining pieces that come from the top. All right. Oh, wow. Looks like you can over tighten that. We don't want to do that. You don't want to over tighten that bulkhead. Looks like you can over tighten it. We don't want to do that. We also don't want it to be loose. Okay. All right. You're not ruining anything. We're having a good time. I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are having a good time. If we're not having a good time, then we're definitely doing something wrong. We should be having a good time. Let's see here. At least someone is. I probably should have had a few drinks. Okay. So that's done. Now it's time for the arms to go on. These guys. So let's see. So it looks like it goes like this. left, right, like that. At least you know. At least you know, Kyle. At least you know, buddy. Thought that was a little strange. Push that through. So now I'm just putting in these little set screws. These tiny little screws. See that? This little guy goes in right here, and there's a notch in the center of this screw where this set screw kind of sits. Holds the whole thing together. Keeps that screw for that pin from coming out. So there it is. Boom. Arms are on. And that's pretty much it for this bag. We're done. That's it for this bag. We start moving into the E's next time. So I don't think I'll be on tomorrow night. I'm doing a podcast with Goose Gear tomorrow. So definitely check that out. Let me see. Let's catch up on some comments. Oh gosh, man, a long time ago, dude. A long time ago. Let me switch cameras here real quick. Yeah, man, they haven't done Eclipse in Eclipse in 3.0, which was almost 6 years ago, didn't have Eclipse in it. So it's definitely been a while. Longer than that. And then let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Goose Gear. So I got a call from them. I think it was on Monday. That they want me on their podcast. I'm gonna be a guest. So tomorrow I'm gonna go over to Goose Gear. Ow, that cut still hurts. I'm gonna go over to Goose Gear, and we're gonna do a podcast. So I'm gonna sit down with them. They've got a new podcast. The name escapes me. Where the trail goes, or something like that. I'll post it up so you guys can see. So it is not a filing cap. It's flat. There's no filing. Yeah, exactly. They haven't done Eclipse in 45 years. Exactly. That comment right there. Freaking John, dude. You kill me. So yeah, gonna do that tomorrow. I'm supposed to record that in the afternoon, probably like around 4 or 5 ish. So that'll, depending on traffic, which is kind of weird to say that because I was driving out to OCRC and there's definitely traffic at like 5 o'clock. Like it's kind of stupid that right now with everything that's going on, there's that traffic is even a problem. But um, if I think I can get home in time, I might kick off a live tomorrow. If not, we'll take a break tomorrow, and we'll do one on Friday. So Friday night, I'll bring out the booze and we'll drink and we'll have a little Friday night get together and we'll just do it up. And then I think next week I should be done by the weekend, so we'll do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think that should cover it for building this car. And and then we can hopefully next week, or maybe towards the end of next week, we can kick off that project that I was talking about, where I start bringing in people to interview from the industry and just locals, right? So the cool thing about this format is that I can bring people onto the interview space, and they don't have to be here with me. I can do this, have my set up here, live stream. I can run the whole show from here, and they don't have to be here. So. Back when I rode shotgun for Wells Fargo, you guys are still giving John a hard time for being old. John, you should be on the show, man. I should do an interview with you. You probably have solid camera gear at home already from when you used to do your YouTube channels, right? Or you still do your YouTube channel, I should say. Like, like, yeah, John knows what's up. John used to grapple with Jesus. God. Oh, this is going off the rails. John, seriously though, you should get on the show. So when I start interviewing people, you would be a great person. You'd be a great person to interview. And you've got solid builds, you've got experience, and I think you've got some. Like I said, you can probably repurpose some of your camera gear, so your feed would probably look as good as mine, if not better. So, let's see. I think that's it. I don't have anything else to say. The only thing is, just remember, you guys already know this, but for those that might watch later, because I did have some dudes that watched later, is obviously check out rigfordirt.com. We've got a new episode coming on Monday in a few days. We've got a new podcast episode. I'm not going to tell you who. It's a big secret. But that's coming, so pretty sweet. And then, of course, you can find me on Instagram, Truckface. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna call it. Yeah, it does. No, it does. If you watch the podcast, or sorry, the podcast, if you watch this later, it shows up in the comment section, just like if you were watching the YouTube channel. Like, it just shows up, and you can set it to show up in real time, or you can just read all the comments. So yeah, they show up. People are gonna read all the shenanigans that have been going on in here. So yeah, we could definitely, John, we can talk about how I do multi-camera. There's plenty of videos on YouTube, but I think everyone's setup is just a little bit unique. So maybe I'll do a video about my setup, so people can kind of see how this all kind of came together in a matter of weeks with very little spend. Again, I was in a different position. I had a lot of this gear already from photography and podcasting, so that's a huge help. But basically, I've only purchased a couple items, primarily this light that I have right here shining on me. And that was probably the biggest change to making all the quality of this, look really well. The lighting makes a massive difference, and I kind of just didn't really take it seriously until I realized that lighting makes a massive difference when it comes to these videos. So, so yeah, that's what's going on there. So maybe I will make a video, but yeah, you and I should talk anyway. I definitely want to get a video with you. When I start doing interviews, I want to get you on, John, and Rocklander, Kyle, all you guys. I think all you guys are solid and kick ass, so I definitely want to get all you guys on here. So, you think it should be darker? You think, is it too bright in here for you? It should be darker. Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Oh, check this out. You want something fun? Hey, who's the host with the most? Right? Super cheesy. But just remember, big old party going on Friday night. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Take care.